Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, August 8th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting in Open Source Kubernetes. As usual, a reminder that we operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. And here at the beginning of the meeting, we like to offer an opportunity for anyone on the call to introduce themselves, totally optional. I will change my name here on Zoom so that it is ready for me to introduce myself. I like to use this as an opportunity to explain what the meeting is and what this group is. Like I said, totally optional. Hello, I'm Caslin Fields, and I am a co-lead of this sub-project, which is the Contributor Communications sub-project. The goal of our group is to make sure that folks within the contributor community in open source Kubernetes know about important things that are going on that they should know about, and also that folks outside of the contributor community know about the awesome work that contributors are doing. My pronouns are she, her. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves? Totally optional.
Hi, this is Rohit Phatak. I would like to call me as a he, him. Excited to join this community, and I'm joining this for first time. So yeah, excited. Like, how can I help you?
Welcome. We're going to be doing a working session today. We have a particular social media project that needs some work. So we'll talk through that here in a little bit. Welcome. We're excited to have you. Anyone else like to introduce themselves today? Totally optional. Alrighty. We'll move right along then. And note that this meeting is very casual. If you have any questions at any point, don't hesitate to speak up and ask or type it in the chat. We're happy to answer any questions. If you missed the introductions at the beginning and want to introduce yourself later, totally fine. Just let us know. And then the final housekeeping item is usually note taker. We normally ask for someone to follow along with the discussion that's happening in the meeting and take notes for us in the notes doc. I don't know that we really need that today because what we're doing today is a working session. So let's talk a little bit about that. And then we might figure out if we need a note taker. So also the cat's going to get settled. In our last meeting last week, we had folks from SIG Multicluster pop into the meeting. Always exciting when folks from other SIGs pop into our meetings to ask us for something. And they want to run a user experience research survey. So they have the survey created, and what they want is help promoting it. They would really like for end users to answer the questions in the survey, folks who will actually use the features that they are working on, at least theoretically. And so there's a link to the survey, which I should also put up here. It's right here. Let me put that. I'll put it above the publishing plan, actually. Link to survey. So they want to run this survey. Fixing formatting. September 22nd, I believe, is the end date that we decided on. Arpit, question. Also, welcome back from KubeCon India. How was it?
Yep. So, hello. I guess my video is visible.
Yes.
Just came back. Just landed back today. So, I want to share just couple of updates real quick.
Sure.
So, one is I have recorded couple of interviews. As I said. One thing I also meet Priyanka over there. So we decided that the video format SIG spotlights we plan to do. we do it as pre-recorded YouTube panels, and then we can like post them rather than doing it live in KubeCon. So that is some
Yeah,
sort of plan me and Priyanka came up with. I will be like I will be like posting a detailed message in Slack, tagging her as well regarding this. But
sounds
I
good.
have recorded a couple of interviews, like short interviews like that, like CNCF does, sort of. So we'll be editing and sending the whole playlist, uh, maybe via next week. Then we can decide like where to post them.
Sounds good.
Like these are like couple of updates from my side.
Should be ready around next week. Perfect.
Yep. And also like
Then
I met Josh over there. So
oh, Josh
we
Burkus?
have also, yep.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so like we have a all LWKD dinner. Like a lot of from the LWKD team is there. So we like went on a dinner with him. So like we have also decided like for the steering election, Josh has some plans where he wants to do like video interviews of the candidate. So that is one thing like we are planning. So
Ooh, I like that.
like heads up, like I want to give a heads up about that too. Like this is what we have discussed in PitCon. So yep, like these
Nice.
are the couple of updates from my side. I don't remember like any more of them. Like if I do, I will like share it in the Slack.
Was he thinking interviewing the election candidates or interviewing the current steering members?
No, election candidates.
Interesting.
So
Hmm.
the problem statement here is that generally folks who have like a lot of visibility generally get elected. Like so what he wants that we can send like the process will be very similar to a SIG spotlight blog where we send the questions in advance and we will ask like we have currently what we have decided like a panel or something that we will execute a panel like three candidates each, and we will ask questions to them. Like we will already send them so that they can prepare to be like so that everyone get a fair chance. Like this is what we have planned, but like still, Josh is working on it, and like the final plan he will be telling us, uh, like what we will be executing in terms of it. So, yep.
Sounds good. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. We don't have long though. I guess the election does run into October this time. I was actually just looking at the election
Yep.
schedule.
Yep. So
Yeah.
like the whole like these whole things lined up because Priyanka, me, and Josh are talking about this, like the LWKD thing. So sorry, not LWKD, the video format spotlight blocks thing, and this election candidate video interviews thing. So like there are some plans. Let's see how they will be executed. I don't think like I need to talk to him after he like after he what do I say like after he landed home. So yeah. So
Sorry, I
like
changed
these
all
are a
of my
couple of updates
screens
from my
around.
side.
I don't know if it was still sharing the right screen. Well. Alrighty. So videos on the elections. I was gonna try to bring up the election timeline so that folks know we are just starting off with the elections. We're at August 8th right now, so announcement has happened. There will be a steering committee Q&A where the candidates can talk with the steering committee to learn about what they do. Candidate nominations will be due on August 24th, and then the election will run through October. Well, through September to the beginning of October. Alrighty. Cool. So let's move back into the working session topic for today. Hello,
Yep.
and welcome, folks.
Then
Lots of
I will
folks on
be
here.
leaving.
Okay.
Yep. Like
Thanks for
I
joining.
just landed and I just saw the notification that the meeting is like ongoing. So I
Yeah,
thought like, joining and like giving the updates before I forgot to do so. So
sounds
yep.
good.
Thank you
Thanks for
very
popping
much.
in.
Bye bye.
See you, Arpit. Don't think anybody else. Did anybody else attend KubeCon India this time?
Fortunately, it wasn't in my city.
Yeah. Always tricky to find a way to get there.
No, I
Even
mean,
I.
I don't live that far, but it was still, what do you say, something which I realized too late that I should be able to attend, but I wasn't
Hmm.
able to.
Understandable. Okie dokie. Let's talk about this SIG multi-cluster survey again. So like I was saying, we want to run this until around September 22nd. I was checking down here to make sure because we talked about a couple different dates. Yeah. Yep. We talked about a lot of stuff around this survey and what we need to do for it last week. So there's also additional notes in last week's notes. But we came up with a rough publishing plan, and I think Susan will show us what she's come up with so far for what we can work on. But to go over the basics, target survey open period is basically now until KubeCon North America. The link is already publicly available. We just don't have any social media out, so people don't really know about it. One thing we need to do is write an email that will be sent to the dev@kubernetes.io mailing list because that is the primary mailing list for the entire contributor community. And we want to let contributors know that this survey exists because some contributors are also end users and they work with end users who may be using these features. So we want to let them know that this survey exists and encourage them to share it with folks who may be a good fit for filling out the survey or fill it out themselves if they are. And on social media. On social media, we have two major audiences. We have end users, Kubernetes interested folks in general, and then we have accounts that are specifically focused on contributors to the Kubernetes project. So on social media, we want to do weekly messages on the smaller end user facing accounts. So that would be in LinkedIn. And then around 3 reminders on Kubernetes IO. I think we actually changed this to 3 to 4. 3 to 4 messages encouraging. Yeah. So I think this was an old note while we were working out exactly what we wanted to do. I think we really want to do 3 to 4 messages encouraging contributors to ask end users to fill out the form on the contributor accounts. Oh, wait, that was for end user accounts. So yeah, that's separate. So yeah, weekly on the smaller end user facing accounts, 3 spread out reminders on Kubernetes IO, and 3 to 4 messages on the contributor accounts. That's what this is saying. And one thing we discussed is who do we want to say that say is asking people to fill out this survey. I would suggest that we say that it's coming from Kubernetes, not SIG multi-cluster, because who the heck knows what SIG multi-cluster is? Only contributors. Most end users probably don't know about the SIG structure within Kubernetes contribution. And these are... So typically a rule of thumb that we use when we're doing social media for a specific project, especially for a survey, is that we usually don't send out the link to the survey directly because of fears that we'll get a lot of spam, especially on an account like Kumari's.io on X, which has over 300,000 followers. We don't want to have 300,000 responses to the survey because they probably won't actually be from end users. So one thing we'll think about as we are setting up our messages is whether we put in the direct link or not. But the most important thing for us to do today is to talk through what all of these messages are going to be. There's quite a few messages that we need to write. So we're going to work together on writing them. And I believe Susan has been working on the publishing plan, which is here. Wow, this is amazing.
All right, so full disclosure, this is potentially a little bit extra and is very much my interpretation of what the notes were in combination with the info in the KubeCon tweet section as far as the different accounts for end user facing, contributor facing, etc. So anytime, so I have a column for who the audience is and then a separate column for the platform. So if some of these are things that we don't want to be doing every time, we can just delete the rows. But so it's built out full structure according to the notes, but can absolutely be pared down if it is too much. But post dates and times are spread out how they were listed in the notes. What else?
So let's talk about how we fill it out. So if you've ever done our KubeCon social media projects before, this is a very similar format. What we need here is for folks to look at what are you trying to say in this post? Who is it aimed at? And we have the audience as well as exactly which platform it's on. The platform determines your character limit. LinkedIn has no character limit. That's one reason why it's really special. Also, on LinkedIn, we only have one page. So it's not like we have a contributor focus page and a end user focus page. So it's basically just an end user thing. But because it has no limit, it kind of needs its own row. So think about the limit for how long your message needs to be, what it needs to convey, and who it's targeting. And it also says here the date and when we want them all to go out. Eastern Standard Time. We could.
That was
We'll
picked
have to think about
completely
that.
arbitrarily. We can update that
Understandable.
however you would like.
We'll probably adjust those, but that's not really important for this point anyway.
They're also all
so
at
if
8
you want to,
a.m. So if that's,
yeah,
if we want to change things.
which is okay, but we'll probably adjust, especially if we have more than one type of message on the same day, which I don't know if we do. Yeah, we do here, but not on the same platform, which is very valid. So I think it'll basically be one message each day in each kind of category. Anyway, if you want to help us write these, which is why I hope you're here today, because that's what we're going to do today, then you can claim the one that you're going to write by writing down your name or social media handle here. We like to have folks' social media handles so that we can thank you for doing the work publicly. So if you have a social media handle that you would like to be thanked publicly, make sure you add it there. And once we have this sheet filled out with messages that we are going to send out, then we'll work on scheduling them to actually get them out. And that's the plan for today. Any questions?
Can someone share the link from the survey link?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, the survey link or the sheet link?
One
Both are in
second.
the
The sheet
notes.
link. Oh, it's in the notes. Okay.
It's right here, highlighted in yellow. But also we can share it in the chat. There's the link to the sheet. Yes, in the chat. So I guess I should do one of these maybe as an example. So survey announcement for Kubernetes IO. Let's take a look at the survey to see what all is on it. Probably a good thing for us to do together. Building multi-cluster management and monitoring tool. Very exciting. Multi-cluster is a really interesting space, which I've given a number of talks on before. That was actually what my keynote at KubeCon in 2021 was about, was multi-cluster. Survey to gather insights from users, operators, and developers on how multi-cluster Kubernetes environments are being used in practice. Your feedback will help us understand current usage patterns, pain points, and areas for improvement. Whether you're just starting with multi-cluster steps or managing complex environments, your input is incredibly valuable and will help shape future design decisions, feature priorities, and community resources. The survey will take approximately 10 to 15 minutes to complete. Please fill it out and share your experience with us. This is an official survey. Your answers will only be shared with SIG multi-cluster leadership and the team conducting the user interviews. So a little bit of information about how the data will be used. Oh no, to see all of the answers, I'm going to have to fill it out. I will just do that. They can always ignore that one or probably delete it. What is your primary role? Platform engineer, site reliability engineer. I'm more like a DevOps engineer personally. How many clusters do you manage? Monthly? I don't create that many normally. I'm going to pretend that I'm in this category. I'm just filling this out to see what the questions are. Where are your clusters deployed? Single cloud provider, multi-cloud, on-premise data centers, hybrid. It's probably going to be mostly this answer, mostly hybrid, and this. That is what most people want from a multi-cluster solution, in my opinion. What is the typical tenancy model? Single tenant, multi-tenant, a mix of both. So this is asking like, do you have many disparate groups on the same same cluster? um, the typical example is, do you have both Pepsi and Coke as customers, and do you have them on the same cluster, or do you put those on separate clusters because never the twain shall meet? I love multi-tenant use cases. They're very complicated, so I'm going to pretend that I have that. Which of the following best describes how application teams interact with clusters in your organization? Mm. I like this form. I like how they're describing this. Would recommend going through this survey. Maybe just don't like actually submit it. But if you want to help us today, try going through this survey yourself. You might learn things. And if you have questions about it, please do ask. I like how these three are very similar, but slightly different. There are a lot of different tools for multi-cluster. I'll probably stop after I read through this page of questions.
I was just wondering what kind of spam would this survey usually attract? Because most of them seem to be multiple choice questions, and I can imagine someone with less experience probably just selecting random options without really thinking too much about it.
That could happen, but we would be more worried about trolls from the internet, folks who just want to put a lot of swear words and stuff in here, in all of the short answer ones. It would be a lot of effort for them to do that. So
People with abundant free time.
abundant
Imagine.
free time. It could happen. It's probably not that high risk, and the SIG multi-cluster folks said that they were okay with dealing with some spam, that they felt that any spam would probably be pretty recognizable, so they could just do away with it. So I think it's probably okay for us to share the survey link here. What metrics do you track most frequently? Oh, I already read that one. Root cause of a workload issue that spans multiple clusters. Always a problem. All the things, I'm sure. Interesting that this is single choice.
Yeah, even I thought the same. This should ideally be a multi-choice.
We could ask them about that. I have a chat going on with, was it Lauren?
Because I think people would appreciate all kinds of alerts and probably not just one.
Yeah, they may be looking for, you know,
Yeah, like which one do you prefer the
choose.
most?
Yeah, but they didn't say that clearly, so. Let me ping the requester from SIG Multicluster. It was Laura. Yeah, Laura Lawrence. I sent Laura a note about this question.
Because all the other questions after this seem to be multi-choice again, but just that specific one.
Yeah, I agree. Odd. Oh, cluster profiles. I just did a talk on this at KubeCon Japan last month.
Oh,
It was an interesting adventure trying to learn about it in time for the talk.
can you send me the link to it? I'd like to listen.
Yeah. It was shorter than it should have been, but I'll try to find that for you here in a little bit. Let me finish here. Yeah, so this is basically the end of the survey anyway. So it's pretty quick. I think that the questions are really nicely designed to understand a lot of different factors of multi-cluster setups. In my experience, and in that talk that I gave in June, what I find is that folks mostly want solutions that can help them manage clusters across different cloud providers and stuff, which the things that we can do at the Kubernetes level are like not that, I would think. I'm very curious what SIG multi-cluster thinks about that. I'll have to
Yeah,
talk to
even
them
I
about it later.
imagine there would be some form of like vendor lock-in.
Well, the tricky thing is if you want a multi-cluster tool that can help you auto scale, and what folks usually want with auto scaling in a multi-cluster environment that's hybrid is the ability to spin up new clusters in a centralized way. And naturally, regardless of what platform you're spinning your clusters up on, there's going to be unique things about that platform. Like you might have to use the G Cloud CLI in Google, which is where I work, or you'll have to use whatever CLI and tools AWS provides on that side. A lot of folks use Terraform as a way to manage all of that in one tool. But there are necessary differences between all of the different platforms that you might want to run clusters on. It's not always even really about vendor lock-in, but more about like the differences in the way that the platforms were designed. They can make things tricky. And at an open source Kubernetes level, we don't care about any of that. We define Kubernetes, which is the thing that all of those cloud providers are running. How you set up Kubernetes on all of those cloud providers. If you were setting up Kubernetes manually, can vary quite a lot. In a past job, my first like big task was to set up to create the setup steps for running Kubernetes yourself on that cloud platform. The initial draft was like 40 pages long.
Yep, I'm currently like going through the e-learning course on Kubernetes because I'm going to take the CKAD exam. So I was, they were talking about how to set up a cluster, and there was a repo which they had shared about learn to set up Kubernetes the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty confusing, but I guess I learned a lot.
Makes sense. Yeah, so that stuff, though, is kind of beside the point. What I need to know is how to announce the survey to folks. So now that I've read through it, I know what it is a little bit. I can say this is going to Kubernetes IO.
Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe on X and Blue Sky we can just mention like the call to action, because that'll probably be short enough and fit in the 150 character
Yeah,
limit.
for sure.
Whereas for LinkedIn, we can go through the description which they've provided and then tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, not a bad place to start. If you want to start drafting that, feel free to go ahead and hop in the doc and try it out.
Sure.
We can help each other by reviewing what each other writes.
Well, I'm trying to understand what is blue sky. This is the first
Blue
time I'm
Sky is an
seeing.
alternative to X or Twitter.
It's like an open source to X
Oh, okay.
alternative, because now it's
Because
sort of
X.
controversial. I just realized we're on video.
Yeah, indeed. There have been many, many discussions on our recordings about how controversial X is.
Yep.
Maybe for contributors, we can say that, are you interested in contributing to the
No.
multi-cluster, something like
What we're
that?
looking for with the contributor community is some contributors are end users.
Oh,
So
I
if you
see.
are
Okay,
an
that
end
makes sense.
user, please fill out the survey. Or if you work with end users, please let those end users that you know about this survey and have them fill it out.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. They could be looking for more contributors, but in this case, they are looking for respondents. So keep that in mind for the contributor-facing ones that, yeah, ask contributors to ask end users to fill it out or complete it themselves as applicable. Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
Nicely done.
I'll do to the good notes. I understand very little of this technically, but the notes are very helpful.
Do I want to mention SIG multi-cluster? I'm going to write it that way, and then I'm going to see how I like it.
Do we want to mention the tool as well? Because the survey title is Building a Multi-Cluster Management and Monitoring Tool.
It could be, yeah. Yeah, that's probably a better way to do it than mentioning the special interest group. Let's see exactly how they said that. Oh, you can't see it from this page. Let's clear form. Yeah, nice. Multi-cluster management and monitoring tool. How do I want to say that, though, without being too wordy? The survey link? Is this the link that we want to use? What did we use here? Yep, that is the link that they used. I think there's a way that you can get a shorter link, but we don't have access to do that, so we will use what we have. And X will automatically shorten the link. Buffer will actually automatically shorten links for us unless we tell it not to. So don't worry. Don't include the character number of the link in your character limit. That's why in the past, folks have been like, why don't you have a character counter in the sheet? Because the number of characters in the link doesn't actually count. So the best way to check if your post fits in the target platform is to go to that platform and test it. If you don't have access to that platform, if you don't have an account there or anything, Buffer, you could also just put it in Buffer because Buffer will tell you if it will fit for Buffer's reasoning. And actually, that is different from what it is on X. So it's probably better to check it in Buffer, honestly. Yeah, so that's an example of writing one up. I'll go with that. So I'll go to Buffer now. If you don't have access to Buffer and you want to, you can let me know, but that is not essential for the work that we are doing today. Someone else can check the post length for you. That's why there's a separate column here for fits in a post, because often when we review and go to put them in Buffer, which will not be everyone, a few of us will do that for everyone, we'll check to make sure that it fits. So we can set that for you. Looks like that fits fine. So that's
the one
deal.
I wrote for Blue Sky Sound.
Beautiful. You have a typo, which I will fix for you.
Oops.
That's all good. That's why we check each other's work. So that looks good to me. And I'm sure that'll fit because the character limit on Blue Sky is more lenient than the one on X. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that to yes. And you can move on and pick another. So
Alright.
that's the deal, everyone. Go on in here, pick one that you're interested in writing. Go ahead and start writing it. And don't forget to put your name in here eventually. Just like I did, I wrote mine and then I put my name in. That's perfectly fine. Since we're all working on it together here, we'll know how to pick one that is not being worked on. So are there any questions about these things as we're getting started here for the recording? If not, I may go ahead and turn off the recording so that our boring sitting here working together is not being shared.
Yeah, I added one in the 30-second. Let's see here.
Right here. I'll put a space between feedback and I'll put a period there as well. This is the final call in 32.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, so we'll probably want to put some information in there about like, this is closing today. Please get this in
Okay.
immediately.
Yeah, just
So
add that like sense of urgency.
yeah. So either you can add that to this one or you can move this one up to one of the other reminders.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Either way works, but it looks good. And a lot of these may be quite similar, and that's fine. Part of communications is saying the same thing over and over again. We could vary which platforms very similar messages are on. We only have 10 minutes left in our meeting. So
I do. I remember we discussed about going over in NOC,
NCO, new contributor
NCO, sorry.
orientation.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is some work that I also need to do on that. So while you all work on these posts, I may help you, Darshan, with setting up the good first issue to advertise that.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you.
So I'll stop sharing. I should have done earlier. But I was going to say that I will go on ahead and turn off our recording, though if I'm going to do the new contributor orientation thing, I guess I'll leave on the recording for a minute here so that folks know what we're doing with new contributor orientation once I've done that.
Excuse me.
Gesundheit.
That was loud.
Kubernetes community.
So I added from 32, 33, 34. One can review it. It's the same post, but added with some sense of urgency.
Wonderful.
Yeah, maybe we could use same thing for LinkedIn as well.
Possible. LinkedIn does have a much longer character limit, so we tend to like to put
Okay.
long posts on there. Optional though. Short posts can also work on LinkedIn. Deadline is not approaching. Deadline is that day.
Oh, okay. Let me change it. Today is the day, something like that. I should change it. Okay, let me change it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. Oh, can I find a message where I've described this before?
I think the LinkedIn post might need some formatting. Oh. So I'm trying to like move everything to the next slide still.
Oh, if you do, are you on a Mac or a PC?
I'm on a PC.
Oh, darn it. On a Mac, it's Command Enter to add a new line within a cell. On PC, I would check Control Enter or possibly Shift Enter.
Shift enter didn't work. Oh, control enter worked. Thank you.
Thought so. Welcome. We are at 5 minutes, and I do have a hard stop today. But I will finish up the new contributor orientation issue.
Maybe I could use deadline approaching the previous one.
You could, yeah.
If that's okay.
For the week before. I think that's very
Yeah.
reasonable.
Let me change that.
And anyone on the call, you are all welcome to give it a shot on writing these messages. You don't have to get it perfect. We're here to help.
I filled out 13, 14, 15.
Thank you.
Same kind of messages. On LinkedIn, maybe we can have something bigger.
You have a typo. Yes, in all three of those. It says servery link at the end.
I'll fix that. Can out.
No worries. That's why we're here.
Can anyone check what I wrote for LinkedIn? Is it too short? Can anything be added?
Let me see.
Oh, I think they've already worked on it, right? It's currently working, it says.
Currently working. Where does it
We
say
are
that?
conducting a survey to better understand how developers are working on. That's the sentence you mean, Darshan?
Yeah, no, the previous one, it says we are currently working on building because I feel like these clusters are already built and we're asking
We are
survey.
currently working on building a tool.
Okay.
Oh,
We are
okay, maybe
currently
I'll
working
remove
on
the
building a
currently.
multi-cluster management and monitoring tool. Yeah.
Is building. Or maybe should I add tool in the beginning? Building.
No, I think it's fine.
Maybe this might
I was
sound.
saying that we are conducting survey to better understand how developers are using multi-cluster, not working on multi-cluster, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
second sentence, right? That one
Yeah.
is a little bit awkward and could be a little bit easier to understand.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I would say are running
Okay.
multi-cluster setups in
Yeah,
Okay,
production.
running,
yeah.
yeah. That
That's
makes
a
sense.
better word.
Yeah, the other sentences looks nice.
Okay. For contributor-facing posts, is it better if we mention the SIG?
I think that's fine, yeah, to mention the SIG in the contributor-facing posts.
Okay.
Gives you a little bit more variety to work with.
Yep.
All right, I'm finishing up the good first issue about new contributor orientation. Thank you all for contributing to these messages today. Please keep working on these. We'd like to get them scheduled and ready to go as soon as possible, especially the August 11th ones. We'll need sooner rather than later. Next Friday, I won't be here, but we'll check in on how this is going to make sure that we have everything for the rest of this campaign. Thank you all for joining today. I need to pop over to another meeting. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to us in the comms channel on Slack or to me directly. I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.